the fuck did I just play?
Welcome to SPORTIFY Show. Sports news and entertainment. New shows every week. No doubt. You gotta check it out. SPORTIFY Show. Every Tuesday and Thursday. Well, what do you know? Oh, it's the SPORTIFY Show.
What up, it's your boy, The Real Ghost, back at it again, and we're here with Mountain Maniac. Is that how you say it?
Well, it's the Meth Mountain Maniac, but we had to
Yeah.
shorten it to Meth because the algorithm kept suppressing the word meth. So,
Yeah, it does, especially it's a gateway drug. Well, yeah,
I,
how you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm just chilling.
Good. Yeah, I got a couple questions here. What got you into brawling, like redneck brawl? What is it, and all that?
Well, I was actually supposed to go to college to play football, but I went to jail as a tight end, and I came out a wide receiver. And and then I just I started boxing about a year ago, and Butterbean lives like 45 minutes from here, and he has a tournament about 15 minutes from my house every year, and I signed up for it. I went to 3 classes. I thought I was Rocky, and so I signed up for this tournament, and I went, and I beat the shit out of some poor boy, and then about threw out my shoulder, so I never went back. But after that, I thought it might be something I could make some money with.
Dope. How would you describe your fighting style? More, what's the kind of technique you use when you're in the ring?
Well, my coaches and everybody in my gym, it's a Mexican gym, so we definitely have the Mexican style of boxing where it's very fast-paced and focused on footwork. But we also take a lot from, me, I'm 5'7", and, traditionally a lot of Mexican guys are shorter, so we take a lot from Mike Tyson's peekaboo style. But I like to tell people that I practice the Wu-Tang style of shadow boxing, but nobody ever gets the joke when I tell them. And but I fight off the back foot a lot, which really, it looks like I'm getting my ass whooped because I'm moving backwards a lot more than I'm moving forward. But, with our style at my gym, it's a lot of counter punching more than anything. And a lot of hit and don't get hit, but I'm real bad about getting hit.
Nice. Is this, have you tried any other sports related, like MMA, or kickboxing, or just regular boxing so far?
Well, I was always good at fighting. I went to jail as a pretty young kid, and I got in a lot of fights when I was there, and nobody whooped my ass. And I had a couple close calls, but I had a real trouble with youth, so I didn't get to play sports, and my high school career was cut short because I subsequently got arrested. So, but after I got out, after I did a couple of years, I picked up boxing from one of my old buddies, who's an up-and-coming amateur, and I don't know, I wasn't very good when I started, but I had a lot of confidence in my ability to whoop ass, and I thought about going to MMA, but they don't pay shit in MMA. I'm making decent enough at 6 amateur fights in, and I know pro guys that are making $500-600 a fight. And so I thought about going to MMA, and I would do a street beefs MMA if the money was right. But for now, I'm going to stick with boxing.
Yeah. When I was trying to do bare knuckle, that's still more advanced. Redneck brawl, they said I overqualified because how many amateur fights I won, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a few pro guys, but I was honest with the promoter and told him I had a few fights, but my record's pretty bad, so they let me in.
Yeah, I was honest with them too. I could have lied and say I didn't won 15 out of 25 matches, but they said I need to find somebody that's in my league. So unfortunately, I couldn't.
Yeah, with my opponents, I let the promoter pick my opponents with Redneck Brawl, but I like to find the toughest opponents because nobody's going to take the Redneck Brawl serious. I try to explain to everyone that we have professionals. I mean, take a look at Brendan Kelly, who went from Redneck Brawl in December to fighting on Aiden Ross's card. He fought Anderson Silva's son, Gabe Silva, just last month. So we have professionals, but nobody just takes it seriously. So I try to pick the baddest guys I can find, and that did not work in my favor last month. I lost my fight last month, but I took the toughest guy they had to offer.
Dang. Yeah, I was not really serious, but I was trolling Catfish Cooley because I know he was in the same league as me to get in. That's what they noticed. And because Catfish Cooley actually responded back to me and whatnot. It was funny.
Yeah, he's funny as hell. He's real down to earth though. A lot of those guys that I won't name, I'm not talking about comedians, but just I've known a lot of people get a little bit of stardom, and all of a sudden they're too good for us now. All of a sudden they can't respond to somebody just because they got a couple 100,000 followers on Facebook. So, but that's what I like about Catfish. He's not like that. Catfish is the kind of guy that I feel like, hangs out at the tire shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can name a couple that my co-host was about to call one out, but it's just all the front for that one. I'm not going to mention names, but that's his call out. He wants to fight him.
It's Country Boot Gang, ain't it?
Ooh, yeah, you seen it. It was going viral a little bit because of what I did.
It's very popular to hate on Country Boot Gang, which I won't, but everybody wants that fight. I want that fight. I will say that I probably got the views that I did because of his engagement, but that's a fight everybody wants, and I will.
Yeah, but not to hate on him or anything, but like all the fights that everybody calls out to him, he don't pick a person, he lets them pick for him. So it's kind of weird. All these people that want to fight him, but he don't choose to fight them.
Well, be that as it may, he's got a lot better record than me, so he might be a little smarter than I am. He saved me. I wasn't gonna be on the card in Redneck Brawl 8 or 9, whichever one was in December. I wasn't on the original card, and Country Boot Gang called me and asked me, and I told him that I guess they found somebody else, and he actually made it happen for me. I owe him that. I still want to fight him, but I will give credit where credit is due. He did me a solid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play because I think he's the only African American on there, right? That I've seen so far. I don't know.
Out of our stars, I would say, like, I say stars very lightly. Like, our most popular people, Macho Man, Lil Smokey, Country Boot Gang. Well, Tennessee Cornbread, he's mixed, I think, and he's pretty popular. But as far as dark skins go, I mean, Tennessee Cornbread's light skin. Country Boot Gang's I'm the captain now, black. So he's the only one that dark that we got.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna have my co-host. So, it'll be a marketing tactic because he's also African American, and Country Boot Gang, he's also African American. So it's been good for Redneck Brawl at the same time. Since skin same color, fighting the Redneck Brawl, it would have probably put a lot of people in their seats. Who's gonna fight for the big fight next, or something like that? It's just a marketing tactic that I was thinking to myself. Are
you fighting with bare knuckle like DBKFC?
I wish. I ain't that good anymore. I haven't fought in like 10 years. I did amateur MMA.
Yeah. That's my plan. Well, I did a few amateur fights at Slugfest in southern Mississippi, and those are some real tough tournaments. And I got some good experience there. And then I noticed that all the other pros, have dozens and dozens of amateur fights, and you've never even heard of these guys. And I was like, obviously, I thought if I can learn how to market myself, then I won't have to fight a bunch of guys for free. And I'm only 6 amateur fights in, and I'm doing pretty good. Now I have sponsors, but I will say my mouth and my marketing has gotten me a good bit of money from this boxing.
Because a lot of people haven't heard about Redneck Brawl, so I was trying to tell the promoters and this and that they should come to Las Vegas, because that's the capital. So come, but I get it because it's called Redneck Brawl. They want it in the southern more than anything, or in the Florida or something, if you know what I mean. But to branch out more, I feel like they should have to go to different states that are just southern type of states. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Well, the Redneck Brawl here, like down south, I'm in Alabama. The Redneck Brawl, I'm not going to say it's more popular than the UFC, but I know that they sell a lot of pay-per-view buys here because I'm not like a local celebrity or nothing, but everybody around here knows, and they knows what company I'm with. But they're definitely not where Misfits and Top Rank and where them are. And,
that's why I said it's a lot of people know them by if you go more towards the southern type of states, if you know what I mean, Midwest or whatever, Oklahoma, Texas. But if you tell somebody in California somewhere, possibly, of course, Vegas, they don't know what Redneck Brawl is. So, that's why I was trying to figure out, tell the promoters they should come over to these type of states.
Well, I think Rough and Rowdy goes out there. The furthest Redneck Brawl's been was Oklahoma. And I didn't sign up in time for that card. But I think Rough and Rowdy goes out there.
Yeah.
No, I thought about moving out to Vegas if I ever turn pro, because that's where the Mayweather headquarters is at. But I also thought about going to Miami because, I mean, there's plenty of hookers in both places for me. But, Vegas just looks like a lot of fun for me.
It is. But once you've been here for a while, like a local myself, it's just, it's always going to be there. It's expensive as heck. But if people got the money to come down here, they can.
That's how Miami was. I was working construction after high school, and I was down in Miami, and McDonald's is fucking $20 a person in Miami.
For the value menu, basically.
Just a Big Mac and something is pretty expensive. But I will say that the Redneck Brawl, if it's done one good thing, it's got me a lot of ass. So I love it. I love every bit of it. And I wish we had somebody to live stream backstage because, we all stay in one hotel. Sometimes it's split. Sometimes red corners in one hotel, blue corners in another. And there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and it gets pretty wild at the hotel. Sometimes we have fist fights at the hotel. Sometimes we have, I can't say what some of the other fighters do and some of the other fighters, and maybe some of the ring girls. I've never had sex with a ring girl.
Yeah, I can.
But if I had,
it gets some pretty wild stuff. I know. I seen, Taylor and Tiffany Baxter were talking about each other. They should do a reality show, they said, in a show about Redneck Brawl. But
yeah, them two are the backbone of the Redneck Brawl family. You can't mention Redneck Brawl without mentioning Tiffany or Taylor. They're the friendliest people.
Yeah, I have both of them on the show. It's crazy. They're like the dynamic duo, I call them.
Yeah, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. And I think the age limit is 35, but I know a lot of people that's older than that in there.
Yeah, Jason Garland, Kentucky Wildman, he fought at the first fight of the last card, and Jason's 43, and not to discredit him, but he fought a 19-year-old, and the offer to fight him was brought to me, and my choices for fights was Jason, who would put up a challenge, but at the same time is 43, or the Appalachian Assassin, who gave me about 4 concussions, and so I picked the latter. But Jason fought a 19-year-old who I think's a punk. I think String Bean is a punk for taking that fight, and I'd like to whoop his ass personally. But that fight did not last long. It did not last long at all.
I seen Kentucky Wild Man. He backhanded him with the closed boxing glove, and he knocked him out. It was crazy.
Yeah, the spinning back fist was crazy. I couldn't believe he did that. Now, you should have seen the whole stadium when he did that shit.
Yeah, I had him and my co-host set up the fight, but he had some issues going on in personal life, so he had to step down. So my co-host is looking for a fight, so I don't know. What's your weight class? I don't know if you guys want to duke it out, redneck brawl and whatnot.
Well, I'm pretty booked out. I'm probably going to go over to Rough and Rowdy and Street Beefs, but I've got some opponents lined up. But if some of them fall out, I would be open. But no, I've got a few fights lined up.
Probably, I guess this guy named Chris. I guess Chris does the matchmaking.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah, he does. I'm probably
gonna try to get in contact with him and see because he's ready. Like, he was calling out Boot Gang. I might set it up with Country Red Man, but that fell out. He's ready. Even before he already did the call out. I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook. He's ready. Just to get himself in the door with Redneck Brawl.
Yeah, I'm gonna move down a division. I'm gonna move down to the 140s, and I think once I was fighting at 158 my last fight, and I thought that was a little much for me considering I walk around at 152. I gained a bunch of water weight to make my last fight, which was a terrible idea, but I just had to be a badass. And so once I clear out the 145s, I think I'll probably move over to bare knuckle and Misfits. Now that I have a little bit of clout from the Redneck Brawl.
I think my co-host is about 140 something, but he's like 6'3".
Well, my first opponent was 6'4" or 6'5", Wild Woody. He's a tough son of a bitch. He hit me a few good times. And
I know my weight.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know my weight class would be like, what's that guy's name? He reminds me of us when you cut down trees. What's his name? Timber or something?
Kentucky, or no, Indiana Lumberjack.
Yeah, those type of
7
guys.
foot.
I'm like, yeah, because I'm 234, so yeah, I'm a heavyweight in that division.
Well, not to spoil anything, but me and him have been talking behind the scenes, and we'd like to get a fight at the 165 to 185 division in the amateurs. If he can make 185, I'll put a bunch of fishing weights in my pocket, and right before I weigh in,
he's about like 2 something, right?
I'm not sure what he walks around at. He's relatively skinny for his height.
Oh, never mind. He's not in my weight class then. I don't know. I was thinking about something else.
I think, well, he's the guy that's 7 foot. I think he fluctuates above and below 200.
Oh, okay.
And so, but a fight like that would be so spectacular. I would, even if I knew I would lose going in, I would still take that fight just because the antics of it would make it, or the theatrics of it would be worth it. Well, it's like the Country Boot Gang fight. He's 6'9", and so I don't think he would beat me, but I do think that it would look really good on camera. I'm probably the shortest in our division, maybe. Macho Man's a little shorter than me, but he's gained a lot of weight, so he's in the 175s right now. But the shortest guy versus the tallest guy.
I thought Taylor Trader would be like 6'7" or something, right? He's about your weight division.
Taylor's like 220. He's like 6'4", 6'5". Well, no, I think he's 6'2". I thought he was going to be like 5'9", and then I seen him.
He looks shorter than that. Golly, on camera.
Yeah, he looks tiny on camera, and then you stand next to him, and he's huge.
Yeah, I'm about 6 feet. I thought he was shorter than me.
Yeah, no, he's a pretty stout guy. There was another guy that looked just like him, but he was like 5'4", and he was in my weight class. But it was the same look, covered in tattoos, and I don't know whatever happened to that guy. There's a lot of people that come and go. Like who's that guy? Crazy Bird. Crazy Bird, in my opinion, is the funniest fighter we have. And I think he actually got kicked out because he kept. I think he flaked on a fight. I think he showed up to the weigh-ins and then left and never fought in his fight. And I think he got banned.
Yeah, I heard Macho Man got banned at one point, but he came back.
Well, with as much as Macho Man brings to the table, I think he's earned the right to kind of do whatever he wants. Him and the Little Smoky beef put the Redneck Brawl on the map. Like that beef right there, the video of them two calling each other out probably got tens of millions of views. Now that's the reason I know about Redneck Brawl.
I told Taylor the Trailer, like, if you know how to market yourself, you'll make a lot of money because you're like one of the head honchos in Redneck Brawl star.
Who, Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of networking. I mean, he talks to everybody, and he's so friendly. I wish I had that friendly, but I mean, I'm pretty nice, but he's real friendly and nice. That don't mean you can fuck with him. He'll whoop some ass, but he is a pretty nice guy.
Just comes with basic practice. You get good at it and all that. But got another question. How do you recover physically and mentally after a tough match?
Pussy. That's about the quickest recovery for me. And a lot of guys will say, "Oh, we don't have sex before our fights." And my coach told me that I can't be jerking off before my fights. But honestly, I think that puts me in a pretty bad mood, and I would be out of my element if I didn't. My last two fights, if my ex-girlfriend's probably going to watch this, she's going to be pretty pissed. But I actually, both of my last Redneck Brawl fights, I fucked some Tinder chicks, right? Well, this last one was like the morning of, but my fight in December, I rolled out of some single mother's bed, and I said, "Oh, fuck, I'm late. I got to get to the arena." And I was so dehydrated because I kind of dehydrated a little bit, but only like 5 or 6 pounds to make 152. And I didn't rehydrate because me and my boy Benji, we partied all night, and I ended up at some chick's apartment. And so I fought that whole fight dehydrated, and I got a hemorrhoid. Somehow, some way, I beat Wild Woody. He's got like a bunch of wins from what I heard, and but my dog was sick, and I needed that check to take my poodle to the vet. So I had a little bit of motivation going into that fight. But yeah, ass really helps me recover. Maybe a little bit of vitamin water, some vitamin D, and I don't really take any, not enhanced, supplements. My diet is mostly root beer and Mexican food. So I'm not really in the weight division I should be, but there's no way I can quit eating the way I do. Food's just so good.
You might have to if you want to go to bare knuckle, because they're serious about their personal workout and training.
Yeah, holy shit, those guys are a different breed. A lot of them have been on my recommended on Facebook. I guess because you're friends with a lot of them on Facebook, so they pop up on my people you may know. And them guys they're all ripped the fuck up. I don't know. Do they drug test over there, or are they just that dedicated?
I think they do. They just work out. Like I had Esteban Rodriguez, Mohawk, second crusader in his weight, and he trains. And then I almost had Christina Ferreira on here a couple times. And she's beast also.
I train 6 days a week. I've got this one gym I go to is it's a strength and conditioning gym. It's mostly like, we got a guy that goes there who's what is he? He's like, I think he's a tailback for Clemson. And it's where a lot of NFL and college players go to get strong. It's like a private gym. And in the days I'm not there, I'm at my boxing gym. getting a lot of sparring rounds in. But I don't know. I've tried. As much as I train, you'd think I'd have a six-pack, but by God,
it's harder than getting muscles like these.
yeah. I couldn't
Is that
imagine
done?
having abs.
I had some a long time ago, but that was past. It's just hard to lose it sometimes.
Well, when I started training, I was 190, but I was pretty fat, but I thought I was jacked. But I was 190, and I've been out on bond for a few years, so I was trying to get real big in case I got convicted, and so that way I wouldn't be 150 when I went down the river. But then I started boxing, and I fought at 175, and that would be like me right now at this amount of muscle, but with 25 pounds of fat. And that was my amateur fight, and I won, but getting hit at 175 when my natural weight's about 150 was enough motivation for me to cut the weight.
Yeah, but that is all but thank you having you on the talk all there on the Sportify show. You got any last words? Tell them where you're from, tell them when's your next show, and where they can find you at.
Yeah, I'm representing Meth Mountain, Alabama, more formerly known as Sand Mountain. I'm on Instagram. I don't even know my Instagram handle. I think it's Meth with an F, Mountain Maniac, or all my socials are just Joby Giles.
But yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, this is, if you haven't checked us out on Facebook and YouTube, the Sportify Show, and get exclusive membership on YouTube, get exclusive emojis, live memberships, behind the scenes 101 with me and Crash Love, the co-host, and Kentucky Mountain. I keep forgetting your name. You say you know what time it is.
It's time to fuck. I ain't messing around.
Yeah.